You know, the Piper Navajo is a workhorse in the twin-engine, non-pressurized airplane world, and the Lock Key Navajo takes a good airplane, makes it even better with a complete refurbishment program. I caught up with Mike Jones from Mike Jones Aircraft here at Sun and Fun 2022. Learn more about this airplane.
What we've done is taken an aircraft that went out of production, one of the greatest aircraft Piper ever built, and brought it up to the latest electronic and the latest STC mods and performance improvements out there on the market. One of the things we do, the first things that we do to it is we do the Panther modification. We own the Panther modification. We bought these modifications from Coal Mill back in 2010 and started our own shop. Coal Mill was at that time doing all our renovations. Now we're doing all these renovations in-house. We got one of the safest cabin class piston aircraft in the world out there. Why, Mike? Why? Number one is we got the Panther mod, a 4-bladed prop, much more lift. We've got winglets, lift. We've got an aircraft, we pull the prop up 6 inches closer to the engine, much cooler running motor with a redesigned nose bow. And then we put a bigger engine on. We take the 325 or 310 horse engine off and put the 350 horse engine on. So now you got a 4-bladed prop, winglets, redesigned nose bow, and 4-bladed props. Now you got a different performing aircraft. It's a different animal at that time. We also do a gear door modification, and we take the inner gear door off, and we put this gear door mod on it, and now the gear will cycle about twice as fast. Plus, without the drag, if you lost a motor on takeoff, now you don't have the inner gear door opening up and waiting on that door to open up before the gear goes in the wheel well. Now that's eliminated. It's a big safety factor. 2 safety factors there on takeoff. I'm all about single engine performance on takeoff, that first 400 feet. Now you got the increased performance of the Panther. Now you got the gear door modification, and now we got the latest and greatest electronically. We got the GFC 600 autopilot. Now you've got input with another servo for the rudder. Now that servo on the Garmin 600 autopilot will not only give you rudder input, if it senses an engine failure on EIS, engine management, it'll help give you some rudder input along with elevator, along with aileron control. So now you got 3 things, a Panther, a gear door mod, and the GFC 600 helping you if that engine would to ever quit on you on takeoff, which we all hope it never happens on any of us. Then we also started adding the strakes to the aircraft, which also on the empennage of the aircraft. That will help you with the yaw control. So we're really promoting that this is one of the safest cabin class piston aircraft in the world as far as single engine loss on takeoff. This aircraft is equipped with 2 600 TXIs. We also put the GTS 800 active traffic. Of course, it's got the ADS-B traffic. We put the latest and greatest weather radar in there, the GWX-75 with vertical profile. In addition to that, you got next red weather and FIS-B weather. So you got some great weather capability. So we got latest and greatest electronics. We got new style overhead switches. We refurbed the sub panel. The circuit breaker panel is also all new circuit breakers. We also take that circuit breaker panel and take the electroluminescent lights out and put LED lighting in it. Now it lights up like a Christmas tree, and you can very well identify your circuit breakers at night now. Believe it or not, at cost, it runs me about $100,000 to do the interior we do on this airplane. It's impeccable interior. You gotta see it to believe it. Even polished seat rails. Then we take the exterior, believe it or not, it's a $100,000 paint job. We take that paint job and we prep it probably 2 or 3 weeks before it goes to the paint shop. Once it gets back, after an incredible paint job, we're going through it prepping issues with a paint job for about 3 or 4 weeks after that. So all the flight controls on this particular airplane we got an option now on our standard and option. We keep adding new options. For the first time, we added options of new skins on the flight controls. I'm talking about the elevator, rudder, aileron, flaps, horizontal, vertical. This particular aircraft has brand spanking new skins and epoxy primer inside. All these flight controls come with all new hardware. Then we got a totally refurbished gear. You'd have to see it to believe that gear. Once we take all the components out of that gear and throw them out on the hangar floor, you will not believe the components that we put back into that landing gear. All new hardware, bolts, bushings, Everything is completely refurbished on that landing gear, even Cleveland wheel brakes on the system, which will give you substantially shorter stopping distance. So it's a piece of artwork. We're telling people, if you want the Mercedes or if you want the Ferrari of the Navajos, if you're one of these people who want nothing but the best, it has to be a Lock Key Navajo. And these aircraft will finance and they will appraise. We're in Blue Book and VREF. The latest one here that we're videoing today, Aviation Consumer, this aircraft actually appraised from VREF for $1,725,000. And the Lock and Key, how we price these aircraft is we've got a standard, just like you would buy a brand new aircraft, what you get for a standard Lock and Key. That starts at $1.1 million, actually $1,095,000. And then we have an option sheet of over about $700,000 to $800,000 worth of options. If you do one of these on the front end, before we complete one ourselves, you have the option to choose from the option sheet what you want to do to it. And you can go all the way up to $1.8 million. And what we're doing is we're competing with brand new aircraft. We got to make this aircraft act, fly, feel like a brand new aircraft. And we also stand behind it with a 2-year warranty from nose to tail. Anything that goes wrong with that aircraft, you'll have a 2-year warranty on it. Okay, people say all the time, well, I can buy a King Air for that kind of money. Well, if you do what we do to the Lock and Key Navajo, apples for apples, you'll have a $3.5 million, $4 million renovated King Airs, okay? And then you gotta consider also the difference in operating costs, even at that point in time. I always tell people I would buy a King Air 10 to 1 over the best renovated Lock and Key Navajo that I've ever done. But does it fit your profile? It's got to fit your profile, whatever you buy. I don't care what you buy. And everybody would have a turbine. I would rather have a turbine, but maybe for what you're trying to accomplish, it's not the economical airplane for what you're trying to accomplish. We call this aircraft the Bahama station wagon. It fits this profile unbelievable down here. People load the airplane up, unbelievable payload capability in this airplane. 7-foot long wing lockers, nose baggage, rear baggage, easy to transition for low-time pilots, easy to fly, handles weather great. We've been doing this for over 17 years, and perfecting it each year to better and better perfection.